A lot of the stores have had their Christmas decorations out already, and I'm ready to start decorating for Christmas too. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Jess. And today I have 5 quick and easy ornaments that you can make to decorate your tree. Now, if you've been to my channel before, you know that I love farmhouse, so I'm going to do these ornaments in the farmhouse style, but as always, with a quick change of paint or embellishments, you can make them to fit your style. All right, everyone, let's get started. For the first project, I'm going to be using one of these giant craft sticks that I found at Walmart, a piece of cardstock cut at 3 3/4 by 5, a piece of this greenery from the Dollar Tree, I think they're about 12 inches long, and a few embellishments. So I started by cutting the giant craft stick down into 2 pieces that was about 4 inches in length. Then I decided to give each of the craft sticks a quick coat of the ink color by Waverly. Now, what's great about all the ornaments that I'm going to show you today is they only take a few items and they're pretty quick to put together. So if you're going to try to make them in bulk so that you have a bunch of one kind on your Christmas tree, it won't take you very long. And like I said, I am doing this in farmhouse, but I'm going to show you a couple different ones at the end here, how I made them. And they're all kind of similar in the farmhouse style, but you can change them to fit how you like your decor to be. So then next, I'm taking the cardstock that I had already cut, and I'm using just a small piece of jute, and that's going to be the hanger for this ornament. So I ran a little bit of hot glue along the bottom and added the jute, and then I added the cardstock right over top of that hot glue. And this is going to make kind of like a little scroll banner type of ornament. And then all I had to do was glue the second stick across the bottom of the banner. I decided to create a mini wreath with one of these garland ties for in the center of the banner. And since these have a wire running through them, it makes it really easy to do that. So I kind of fluffed it out a little bit, wrapped it around my fingers a few times, and then twisted the ends in. Then all I had to do was hot glue it onto the center of the banner and then add a few berries and pine cones for embellishments. So I was really excited when I was crafting this day because I was trying to get myself in more of a Christmas mood. So I put on one of my favorite Christmas movies, which is Home Alone. You'll have to let me know in the comments what your favorite Christmas movie is. The second set of ornaments is really quick and easy to put together. I'm going to be using these shower curtain rings from the Dollar Tree. And for one of the ornaments that I created, I decided to use this car wash cloth that you can also find at the Dollar Tree. I really like this material. It's kind of fuzzy and fluffy and it blends together nice. And all I did was cut a strip of the car wash cloth about, I'd say 3/4 of an inch wide. And I just started by hot gluing where the shower curtain ring joins together, and then I wrapped the cloth the whole way around the ring. I only needed one strip of the cloth to cover the entire ring. So for $2, you could easily make 12 of these ornaments, and then you just need to add in a few more dollars for the ribbon to hang it with and any embellishments that you'd want to put on yours. And then you'll see too, I also wrapped a ring in some chunky yarn, and then I also wrapped a ring in some jute cord too to give it kind of a different look. I decided to keep the embellishments pretty simple for my little ornaments, and I had a pack of these mini bottle brush trees on hand from the Dollar Tree. I picked these up last year, but I know I've seen that they started carrying them again this year for Christmas. So I hot glued one to the center of my shower curtain ring, and then I just created a simple jute bow for the top, and I had this really cute peppermint striped ribbon on hand, and that's what I used to make the hanger for on the shower curtain ring. the next set of ornaments, I'm using a pack of these jingle bells from the Dollar Tree and just a few little embellishments. So I started by taking the jingle bells and I'm kind of pouncing this elephant color on top of them. That way it kind of dulled down that shiny silver look a little bit because since I do like the farmhouse style, I wanted it to be just a little bit duller. And I think it kind of gives it more of a galvanized look as well. But like I said, you can always leave these a little bit shiny if you like more of that glam look or more of that traditional Christmas look. Now what's great about all the ornaments that I made today is I had a bag of leftover scraps from last Christmas, like random pine cones and berries and like pieces of garland and like single flowers and everything. So this is a great way to use up some of those scraps that you might have on hand as well. So once all the paint had dried on my jingle bells, I just took some jute and I kind of strung it through 2 of the jingle bells. And I left enough of jute that when I tied it in a loop, I would have enough to fold back over, if that makes any sense. That way, the jute that I'm using is also going to be the hanger for these jingle bells as well. So you can see here, I have both of my jingle bells strung onto this, and then I just folded it in half so it created a loop at the top. And then I'm using another piece of jute to tie around to keep that loop in place. And I also offset the jingle bells just a little bit so that one was hanging just a little bit higher than the other one. So the last thing I needed to do was just embellish these jingle bells a little bit. So I dug around in that bag of scraps that I had and I pulled out a piece of this garland, I trimmed it down, and then I added a few red berries. Give me a big thumbs up if you have a bag of scraps that you're trying to use up from last Christmas too. When I decorate my tree, I like to drape ribbon around it most years. So I know a lot of people struggle with that. They're not exactly sure how to place the ribbon on a Christmas tree. So I thought it would be a good idea to kind of create an ornament out of ribbon bundles. That way, if you put enough of them on the tree, you have that really pretty ribbon look on your tree, but you don't have to worry about trying to place just a long strand of ribbon along the branches of your tree. So I picked 3 ribbons out of my stash. These were from Michael's last year, I think, whenever they had their Christmas ribbon on sale. And I cut 3 lengths of ribbon, and I knew I was going to be folding them over. So whenever you create yours, make sure you leave it long enough that whenever you fold it over, it's still at the length you like. Now what's great about this is you could use any width of ribbon, or you could even mix ribbon with some of that deco mesh too, and I think that would create a really cute look for a Christmas tree. After I had my ribbon cut to the length that I liked, I stacked all 3 pieces on top of each other and I folded it in half. And then I went down about 2 inches from the fold and I kind of accordion pleated it, kind of cinched it around there. And then I tied some jute string around where I had pleated it just to hold that in place. After I tied that jute string around the top of the loop, I tied the ends together into a knot. That way I would have something to hang this with. So then all I had to do was fluff out the top ribbons and then dovetail the ends of all the ribbons. Now I kind of dovetailed these about the same length, but you could vary the lengths a little bit just to show off those ribbons a little bit more. The last thing I needed to do before this ornament was ready to hang was just dig around in that scrap bag again and pull out a few things to glue around the center of the ribbon. Okay, so for the last set of ornaments, I actually created these a few years ago before I was on YouTube. I set up a little crafts booth at the Santa shop at the school that my mom used to teach at. So I took 4 of the tumbling tower blocks and I just hot glued them together. You could use wood glue here if you wanted to, but I use the Gorilla Glue sticks and they always do a good job on wood. Now, I was thinking for this set of ornaments, this would be really something fun to do with kids. You could pre-glue all of these wood blocks, and then that way you wouldn't have to worry about them using any kind of hot glue. And then you could kind of just let them go to town and decorate them how they would want to. So for mine, I decided to keep it pretty simple like I have on all the ornaments in this video. And for this one, I just watered down some red acrylic paint to create sort of a red stain. And I painted that all over the front and the back of the ornaments. That way it kind of showed that wood grain through just a little bit more. Then I decided to distress mine a little bit, so I'm using this Distress ink by Tim Holtz. This is the color Gathered Twigs, and I'm using an ink blender and I'm just kind of smudging it along the edges of the block to kind of frame it out a little bit. To create a hanger for this ornament, I decided to take a length of the nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and I separated out just one strand of it because I thought the rope on its own was a little bit too thick for this ornament. And I hot glued it on the side, and then I left a little bit of a gap at the top where I didn't glue it, and I glued it down the other side. That way it created a hanger at the top and it kind of framed out both sides of the ornament. And then I left just a little bit of overhang on the bottom of my ornament so that I could fringe out the rope a little bit just to give it more texture. So this is where you could kind of change it up to fit your style. If you don't really like the rustic look, you could paint these blocks just one solid color, and you could use ribbon or jute, or if you're really fancy, you could even use like a little mini string of pearls. So to embellish my ornament, I'm using these wood stickers that they always have at the Dollar Tree for the different holidays. And I liked the snowflake on its own, so I decided just to keep it the regular wood tone, and I just hot glued it right to the center of the ornament. I know it's a little early to start thinking about Christmas, but whenever you're making your own ornaments, you need to start a little bit early so you're not rushing towards the end of the holiday. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell, do all the things. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.